What's up, YouTube? Batman here, Team Poké Rifle. Just doing a deck profile for my wife's deck. One of these days I'll have her do her own deck profile. I'm not sure when that'll be.
3 years.
3 years. But it's Garbodor Landorus. The story behind why she's playing a deck like this is her initial thought of wanting to play a deck was, and these were the colors she said, were purple, blue, or green. So Psychic, Water, or Grass. Well, I showed her Garbodor. She hated how it looked, but she liked its ability. So I told her I wasn't exactly sure things it could be paired with, and so she tells me that she would be fine playing orange. So I said I was curious about what she meant by orange, and she meant fighting. So I get that it's an orangish brown. So I showed her Landorus. She liked how it looked, and she loves the art on Mewtwo. So it just kind of came down to Garbodor Big Basics. So that's kind of the story of why, for her very first deck in the game, she's playing this. So I'll go ahead and get started into the deck. There's going to be a couple of things I'll explain why I'm playing them, and there's a couple of things that are going to be changed now that Plasma Freeze, well, it just got its pre-release today. Two Landorus, good starter, Hammerhead, and you can get into Land's Judgment at any time if you really want to. It's just a really solid card for a start at any time. So, and even late game, it's a good way to set up. So. Okay, and then you have the Mewtwo trio. It pretty much had to be this way. I had no choice. She likes all three art, and so it came down to playing 3 Mewtwo, and it came down to playing one of each. So, my teammate hit me up with this one, and it just made the choice easier. So, Mewtwo's just an all-around really good card, and it always will be. And you have one Tornadus. It's just, if you open with it and your Verbank City Gym, you're pretty good off. You're very good off, actually. And then Power Blast late game, because a lot of things, like if you can't use your Landorus EX, Tornadus can take care of things that have like a fighting resistance that can hit for the solid hundreds. So it's just really good. Alright, then you've got your 3 Trubbish. I actually really like the Garbage Collection one, because if you have to start with it, like if you just absolutely have to start with it, you can actually use this one. Like, you can actually go get cards back. You can, if you play Juniper and you know next turn you're going to need to draw cards, you can put Juniper back onto the top of your deck. It's just an actually solid Trubbish. Of 3 Garbodor to go along with that. I know a lot of people like the 4 Trubbish. The deck just didn't have room. And I didn't want to display this till after Plasma Freeze came out, because I'm going to be picking up the secret rares for her. But it just, people have been requesting this. So it's just kind of, they wanted to see what she's playing. People have actually, because I've talked about building her deck, people wanted to see what she's playing. You have your 3 Garbodor. They're just a really solid card. Being able to shut off abilities is really easy, just really good and really game breaking. I've had this. She's had this set up turn 2, and I play Eels, and Eels cry. So, like, Eels do cry. Your 4 Professor Juniper. It's just a solid card, because a lot of times you're going to be playing down everything from your hand, so most of the time you're only going to be getting rid of 1 or 2 cards from your hand, unless in an emergency situation where the hand was really bad, you're going to discard the entire thing. But most of the time, if you don't have your Bianca, and you do have this, and you played down your entire hand, you can play this and plus a 6-card hand. So, I mean, it's just, Juniper's still going to be one of the best supporters in the game for a while. 2 Skyla. I'm still looking for her second full art. But Skyla's just a really good card. I couldn't fit the 3rd one. There's only one other supporter in this deck that I want to fit a 3rd one in, and I'll explain that one next. But Skyla is an all-around good card. I understand that people do like playing 3 Skyla in this deck, but having too many of her in hand can be good. But at the same time, if you do draw her at the same time you have Juniper, you do want, and you don't want to use her, the problem is you're going to have to discard her. So if you clump a hand with 2 of these, you have issues. I understand that you can go get a supporter, but you waste your supporter for next turn when you could have set something up and possibly drawn something better, or the same thing with Juniper. So that's my always been my reasoning on only 2 Skyla. 2 Bianca, this is the card that I've thought about taking up to 3, just because she is really good, especially with how much, like, you're playing 3 Ultra Ball in the deck. 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Heavy Ball is your ball lineup in this. So, I mean, you're gonna be ditching a lot of stuff out of hand. So, I mean, at any point, you could be plussing a full 6-card hand. So, you could pull a full 6-card draw after playing her and playing your hand down. So, Bianca's a very good card. I downgraded her a lot when she first came out because I wasn't expecting her to be as good as she is. But she is as good as she is. So, okay, and then you have 2 in. They are hand disruption, but these will be taken out for 2 Getsus this next set now. Because Getsus with this deck is really good because you can possibly get rid of your opponent's, even if they have a Skyla, and you force their Tool Scrapper or Catcher back into deck, you force them to waste their supporter for turn to get said, to go get the Tool Scrapper or the Catcher to try to force your Garbodor up and kill it. So, N will be being taken out for 2 Getsus. N is really good. I always liked N. Like, in my Eels, I play 4 N. But in this deck, I really can see Getsus being a lot better. You have your 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, and then your 2 Verbank. The only reason for 2 Verbank, and I've even thought about taking this down to 1, is because a lot of people play Verbank, and a lot of people play Stadiums anyway, so your Tornadus EX is almost always live, unless you go first and have it, but even if you don't go first and you do go second, your opponent played the supporter, your Tornadus is live. So, I've thought about taking this. This would probably be one of these would probably be what I'd drop for the 3rd Juniper, or 3rd Bianca, but these are just an all-around solid card because, if you miss the heads on the first one, you really need the opponent's Pokemon to go to sleep, you can play the second one without really wasting, because then you can play Bianca and possibly draw back into a hand that you did want to. So, no matter how you play the Hypnotoxic Laser, they are always an all-around solid card. Then you have these 3, you have your 3 Eviolite. These are the 6... tool cards you're playing in the deck. Eviolite for your basics and Rescue Scarf for Garbodor. But Garbodor will probably, or the 1 Rescue Scarf and 1 Eviolite will probably be dropped for the, I cannot think of the name, I think it's a Smooth Stone or something like that. The new tool card that says the Pokemon it's attached to does not have a retreat cost. So you'd pretty much always attach that to either Landorus or Garbodor, so it's always really good, really live. So, it's just, I would probably be playing 2 of each at that point. These are always really good. I do like the 3 and 3, but at that point, you do sometimes want to not waste your switch, and just automatically be able to switch. So, it just depends on the situation of what's going on, and things happen. So, okay, 3 catcher. I wish I could pick up a 4th. Like, I've been looking for a 4th. Catchers are just things people don't want to get rid of. I'll be completely honest. The deck does work with 3. It completely is always live at 3. But 4 is always a good count for catcher. But 3 still does work very well in the deck. Because with Juniper and Bianca, you can almost always draw into it very easily. 2 Heavy Ball. And then you have your 3 Ultra Ball. This is your ball lineup for the deck. Heavy Ball is only to get Landorus and your Garbodor. what it does, it's just a one-off. So at any point you can drop your heavy ball and go get your Garbodor or your Landorus. So it's just an immediate, so that's a -1 for your hand. And then if you play Ultra Ball in the same turn to go get another, you've minused another 3. So at that point you play Bianca, you plus 5 cards. So these are very live cards almost every turn in the deck. Like there's almost no point when these are dead cards in your hand. I know people are gonna ask why the 3 Ultra Ball instead of just 2 when I could be playing like 3 Skylar or something like that. 3 Ultra Ball is just always live, even if you don't want it to be. If you have the Bianca in hand, you can always play it, force the Ultra Ball yourself, and then Bianca back into a hand. So it's always live. And then you also have your computer search to search out anything. So if you open like Mewtwo or Tornadus with a Stadium but don't have the double colorless, you can go ahead and go computer search and then Bianca. Honestly, and I'll tell you this, Bianca is always live in this deck. That is why I do want a 3rd one for the deck. And she does too, because she loves the art on Bianca.
What?
On Bianca.
Yeah.
The art.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 Switch. You have high retreat cost Pokemon. A lot of people play 3 Switch when it comes to the deck, but I have seen a lot of situations where 1's going to get pitched, 2's going to get pitched, off Juniper, things like that. So having 4 makes it where you have a lot more capabilities of having it at any point. And this card became a last-minute tech card in the deck because I was playing against my teammate TJ Gagner. And Landorus became the card that killed me because it sat there on my bench with like 150, 160 health on it, or damage on it. We had 2 prizes left, and he catchered it up late, a very late game when even when I had Garbodor set up, he catchered Landorus up and popped it. He just, he had Verbank City Gym on the board and put a poison, and played the laser and and then just ended turn, passed it out. We both had 2 prizes. He took his 2 from it. If I had had Max Potion on the other hand, I could have gotten rid of that and at any point won because of that. So I mean, it's just, Max Potion is a very good tech card in this deck. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I play 7, 8 fighting energy. Okay, 8 fighting energy. There is a lot of room when you're first building the deck for an extra couple of tech cards, like Max Potion was one of them, an extra energy. This deck, and her luck, she has a lot of bad luck when it comes to opening with energy, so I decided to go ahead and throw the extra 1 or 2 energy in. And it's been working very well, so 8 energy works perfectly. And then you have your 4 double colorless because you play 3 Mewtwo and 1 Tornadus EX. So they're just kind of self-explanatory for the deck. So I hope you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.